Hey guys, Dark Keys here, bringing you a video, and this is going to be about my top 10 favorite video game franchises. I might sound a little sick because I have been. It won't make much of a difference though because I'm very excited for this video. It's my top 10 favorite video game franchises. I hope you enjoy, and please, if you disagree with anything, leave your opinion in the comments because these aren't technically the best, but they're just my opinion, and just don't get mad over it. So this gameplay is an AN94 92 kill demolition on Nuketown because the Nuketown playlist is here, and that makes me very excited because this map is life. So I hope you enjoy the gameplay, and now here's the top 10. Before I start this, let me just say that I'm a huge Nintendo fanboy, and you will see mostly Nintendo genres games on here. So don't get too mad because I know a lot of people don't like Nintendo, so that's just a fair warning that you won't see a lot of your favorite Xbox and PS3 whatever games on here, so just a fair warning. Now, number 10 is Halo series. This series I've grown up with, and it was my favorite shooter for a long time because I grew up when the Xbox was new, and Halo 2 was an awesome game. I just enjoyed this series. And my favorite game in the series is probably Halo 3, which a lot of people probably will agree with. Either Halo 3 and 2 are the biggest ones. But I still play Halo 3 up to this day. It's just got so much to it. It's a really good competitive game, I think. I mean, I'm nowhere near good for competitive, but I just love playing it. If I'm ever bored, I just put that game in, play some Team Slayer, and I just the nostalgia brings me back, and I just love this game series. Number 9 is the first video game I ever saw, and it is Banjo-Kazooie series. Man, this is the first video game that I think I ever played, let alone saw, and this is by far the most nostalgic series for me. It's kind of weird putting it this high on the list, but there's just not enough games that are in the series that are good, and this is one of the series that have died thanks to Microsoft and them buying Rare, and just Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts makes you want to cry because that game is literally one of the worst games I've ever played in my life. But my favorite game in the series is Banjo-Kazooie, the original, on N64. I've beaten that game 100% it countless times, and it never gets old. If you've never played it before, it's on the Xbox Live Game Store. Just pick it up, and you'll have such a great time. Trust me. Number 8 is Call of Duty, which many of you expected to be on this list, just judging by the gameplay. Well, Call of Duty, I really was like a hater at the beginning. I was like, God, why would you ever play this awful game when there's Halo? But my favorite game in the series is World at War, which is the game that got me into the series also. Just playing around with my brother, some split screen, I just noticed that, wow, this is actually a good series. And this is one of the only series I have put countless hours into each game, besides maybe the older ones like the original one and maybe Call of Duty 2, but for first-person shooters, this is the one I recommend. And the way it's going, I mean, I don't know how it's going to be, but I just love it. I can't really say a lot about it because it's not as complex as the series is. I don't know. But the game series that you'll see later on the list. Number 7 is probably the most well-known video game idol ever and the best-selling franchise ever. You guessed it, it's Mario. Now, the most popular Mario games are probably the platformers, but that's not for me. I love racing, sports games. I've just grown up with the series, and there's just, I think, over 200 Mario games, which is amazing. And if there's any game there's a game for anyone. If you like sports games, there's sports games. Racing, there's racing. RPG, there's RPG. Just anything. But my favorite in the series is Luigi's Mansion, which is really ironic because it doesn't have, well, it has Mario in it, but Mario isn't the main protagonist in this game. But this was one of my first games ever also. It was, I think, one of the launch titles for the GameCube. Just one of my favorite consoles of all time, which I will get to later. But Luigi's Mansion's a very fun game. I haven't even played the 3DS one because it doesn't look as good to me. But if you have a GameCube and you've never played this game, please do yourself a favor and pick it up. It shouldn't be that expensive. So, just any Mario game, play it. You'll have a fun time. Next is, number 6 is Spyro the Dragon, who I'm sure a lot of you do not know. If you don't know him, just look him up. Maybe you'll get a little bit of remembrance. Maybe you've played one of his games. He's one of the biggest Sony icons of the 90s because he's not with us anymore, which is really sad. But I played many of the PS1 games, which I think are the strongest in the series. Some people may think the GameCube ones are. I've not played them enough to say they are, but my favorite in the series is Spyro 1, and I don't know if there's any like subtitles that go with that, but just the original, the first one, it's the cleanest, most fun. I've just put so many hours into that game. I don't know if I've ever beaten it because it's a really long game, but it's just so much fun. I know it's a lot rarer than some of the other series, I might say, because there's no new Spyro games being made. Hopefully Naughty Dog, or no, not Naughty Dog, or Sony will bring it back, because I would love to see the Dragon come back just to make one more game. Alright, let's crack into the top 5. Number 5 is Ratchet & Clank, which is a strictly Sony series, but holy shit, these games are so much fun. They're very simple, but they've been around since the PlayStation 2, and if you've never played it or heard of it, you probably never had a Sony console, because to me, at this day and age, he's the most iconic Sony mascot. I mean, a lot of people will say Uncharted or Last of Us, but no, he's been around a lot longer. The games are just for all ages. Literally speaking, most of them are rated E. But my favorite game in the series is Tools of Destruction. It's just simple gameplay. It's a pretty easy game, but just the roster of weapons are just amazing, and just some from my mind that are the best. I love the Nitro Stalker, I think that's what it's called, the shotgun, the Lightning Ravager, the Predator Launcher. Just those weapons are just so great, and please pick it up, any game if you can. I know a lot of people have Sony consoles, so it's for the PS3. It shouldn't be that rare. Do yourself a favor and play it. Number 4 is the best platforming game in my opinion, and that is Crash Bandicoot. Holy shit, this game series is just amazing. I'm at a loss for words because it's nostalgic, it's great, it's hard. Like, it's a really hard series because I like to 100% games, and it's kind of hard to do with everything you need to get. But they've made look at that quad feed right there, I just had to point that out. But there's party games, racing, platforming. It's got a lot of stuff. I mean, it's not as expansive as Mario, but it's a good series. I like it better than Mario's as seeing. But my favorite in the series is easily Crash Bandicoot 2 Wrath of Cortex, because it just feels the most balanced and it's got the right amount of challenge. I mean, it's a really hard game, and I have surprisingly 100% of it, which made me very happy. It's got a great final boss, great level design, lots of collectibles, which makes a great platformer. And I would say a close second is Crash Bash, and that might be one of the hardest games of all time. Like, Jesus, if you could get everything on that game, you deserve a medal, because that game is hard as hell. Number 3 is a fan favorite among anyone who doesn't even like Nintendo. You cannot say that you hate Super Smash Bros. This game series is the best fighting game that you will ever see. It's not a Mario series, it's just a Nintendo series because that's what's evolved to. I think it originally was probably a Mario game because he's like the main fighter, but it's just expanded. We got Snake, who's not even a Nintendo series anymore. We've got Mega Man in the new one, we got Pac-Man. It's expanding so much, and it's gonna be a console seller, this new Smash Bros. It's just timeless fun with a great roster of characters. It's got everything, mini games, iffy campaign. That's the only bad thing I'll say about the new ones. But just, it's the best multiplayer game I think of all time. If you're gonna have group of friends with you, just pop in any Smash Bros. And you'll have a great time. So, what's the favorite of my series? My favorite game is definitely Super Smash Bros. Brawl, because I just think the final smashes add a new degree of just customization. Well, not customization, but it differentiates all the characters, and some of these really bad characters that you might think are terrible have an amazing final smash. Like, for example, Olimar. He might be really good to some people, but I'm terrible with him. But yeah, I just love Super Smash Bros. Brawl. They're all equally as good, but Smash Bros. Brawl comes out on top. It's simple. We've all graduated elementary school, so we know what comes next. Number 2 is Legend of Zelda, and this series is fairly new to me. It only came into the picture about a year ago, but it just like shit all over me and made me take a shower after it, because that's how amazing it is. I literally soiled so many pants because this series has just made me the man who I am today, because it's so philosophical, it's expansive, it's deep, and it's just everything I want in a series, and I just can't tell you guys enough how amazing and how much it just changes you. And it's kind of weird because it's a video game, but it just changed me after playing through my favorite one, which is Majora's Mask. It was just a very good game, a perfect game. It's one of the only games I can say is absolutely perfect, flawless in my eyes. Not everyone else's eyes, but I just play that game, play it. Not only is the games, but just the soundtracks are also just amazing. I can't tell you guys enough. Just pop in just look up any Zelda soundtrack. You'll probably know most of them, but they're just amazing. They're like orgasms to your ears. That's the best way to put it. And now, for the number 1 spot is Pokemon. Yeah, Pokemon. That childish series that you gave up a while ago because it's not for people over the age of 10, some people think. No, that's not the case at all. This series is absolutely amazing, and it has... I don't think there's any games in the main series that people would hate on, besides one that I can think of that deserves a little bit of criticism. But seriously, there is not one human being who has never played Pokemon. Like, you've obviously grown up with it. Everyone has. Doesn't matter if you're 10 and grew up with Diamond and Pearl, or my age and grew up with Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. Those games, I'm not going to go into them because I could talk about them for hours, but you've played them, trust me. Maybe you just got them randomly for Christmas, I don't know, but you've easily at least seen them, just touched them, just pissed on them, I don't know. You've seen them, they're just everywhere, and it's good because it's so expansive that it's the number 2 best-selling game franchise in the world, right behind Mario, which also appeared on this list. Yay! And what's my favorite game in the series? It could be Diamond and Pearl or Black and White, because they're amazing soundtrack, amazing stories, and amazing characters. Or it could just be Pokemon Emerald, which it is because of nostalgic reasons. Yeah! And it just has my favorite generation of Pokemon, and I just can't start explaining about it. It's just so good. Please pick up a copy. I'm not like asking you nicely. I'm demanding you. You better get a copy of Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire when they come out, because they are gonna kick your ass because they're so good, and they're gonna be the best game of all time. So, Pokemon's number 1. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, your teachers, I don't care, just anyone. And I hope you enjoyed this top 10, because I definitely enjoyed doing it. And I hope to do a lot more in the future, because this really made me enjoy doing what I'm doing. So please let me know if you like them, because it's all about what you guys like. I'll keep doing them because they may require a little more time, but that time is a lot of fun and scripting and stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed. Love you. See y'all later.